Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2023-24 season. My name is Dan and today we're going to be talking about those FPL cheat codes that absolutely break the game. All is going to be explained, but we're going to try and figure out who the cheat code player is going to be for this year. If you enjoy this one, please do drop a like, and if you're serious about your FPL, make sure you subscribe. I know about half of you guys are not subscribed right now. Sort that one out. Let's start the video. Okay, so what kind of players am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about those defenders, particularly those cheap defenders that end up scoring absolutely insane points for various reasons, usually because they're far more attacking than we thought they might be. Now, the quintessential perfect example of this was John Lundstram in 2019-20. He was listed as a 4 million defender, and actually he ended up playing kind of as an attacking midfielder. So FPL got his position totally wrong, and we got a super cheap midfielder who also got clean sheet points. It was quite insane, guys. We got goals, we got assists, and we actually became like an essential must-own player very, very quickly. Even though not a lot of people recognized it immediately, everyone soon caught on. Same thing with Stuart Dallas the following season, where he was listed as a 4.5 million defender this time, but he ended up playing a lot of his games in midfield, getting a hell of a lot of attacking returns. You can see 8 goals and 3 assists, and a decent amount of clean sheets in that season for Leeds as well. And once again, people maybe realised a little bit too late, but he turned out to be an essential player. And anyone who got on Lundstram and Dallas early in those seasons, well, they were just flying. So in that void, I decided let's try and figure out what kind of players we could be having in future seasons. Livramento came up the following season, a 4 million defender, started playing every game for Southampton, did really, really well at the start of the season. He didn't get injured, unfortunately, after that, but he was a really, really good player to own at the beginning of the season. And last season, difficult to say exactly who that cheap defender who broke the game was, but argument to say Ben White, 4.5 million, so a little bit more expensive than some of these other guys. But what we saw from Ben White was basically he played as a right back when we all thought he was going to be a centre back. So as right back, he got a couple of goals, he got some assists, he got some clean sheets as well, and ended up scoring a really, really healthy amount of points. I don't know if Livramento and Ben White count in the same way as Lundstram and Dallas, but today we're going to be trying to figure out who the top new cheap defender is going to be for the new season, who is just going to break the game, a player who I like to call the cheat code of the 23-24 season. Now, we need some criteria for this one, so we're going to have 4 sets of criteria. Number 1, I want this player to be incorrectly listed as a defender in FPL. So I want them to be listed as a defender, but actually playing a little bit further up the pitch, maybe as a wing-back, maybe as a midfielder, maybe even as a winger, if we can find someone like that. I want them to be capable of getting goals and assists. That is crucial, because we know when defenders get goals, they score loads and loads of points. So a goal-scoring defender is going to be really, really nice. We want them to play for a team with an okay defense. We at least need a chance of some clean sheets here, because clean sheets are still a big part of what makes a defender so appealing. We want to get the clean sheets and the goals, and we want them ideally to cost 4.5 million or less. And I feel like this is a pretty crucial criteria, because we are going to be taking a risk on this player. We don't know for sure who it's going to be, this new must-have cheap defender. So we don't want to be spending too much money and loading too much of our money in this player. But we are going to go through some players that I think might fit this criteria that could be pretty good. As long as we get through this video, I think we're going to find someone really, really good. So let's get this one out the way first, because I know a few of you guys have suggested Trent AlexanderArnold as the new John Lundstram of this season, and I don't think that's going to be the case at all. I mean, how can Trent count? He is the most expensive defender on the game. If you get a lot of points from a defender who costs this much money, well, that's hardly a cheat code. You spend the money, you get the points. That's as simple as that. What we're looking for is a cheaper player who can get those FPL points. So although, yes, he's attacking, yes, there's argument to say he's going to be a midfielder this season, and he's going to get clean sheets as well. What we will not get from him is good value for money. We're not going to get, he's not a cheap guy, so we have to discount him. We've got to move on. Next up, Perisic. I think this is definitely an interesting one, and I feel like he fits the attacker category the best. Like, he is not going to play as a defender in this new season. We've already seen kind of in training that Perisic looks like he's going to be playing as a left winger for Spurs. The problem is with Perisic, he fits all of the criteria really, really well. He can, he's got a decent amount of shots per game, decent amount of XG per 90, makes key passes as well. Very, very creative. He's going to be probably playing as a left winger. The problem is that he's probably not going to play ahead of Heung-min Son. Son is the main guy on the left wing, and Perisic, I just can't see him getting very many minutes. So yes, fits the criteria of an out-of-position defender really, really well. Doesn't quite fit the price criteria, but just not enough game time for him to count. So once again, Perisic, it's not going to be you. Zinchenko is another shout that a lot of people have made as the new John Lundstram of this season. But unfortunately, I just don't think that's going to be the case. Now, don't get me wrong. I feel like some people, you could argue that as an inverted left back, maybe he is playing out of position, actually is kind of more like a midfielder. On the other hand, I do just want to say that Zinchenko's attacking numbers are not nearly as good as you would expect them to be. We know Zinchenko is a good passer of the ball, a creative player in many ways. But in terms of final third passes, you know, those passes in the real dangerous areas that lead directly to goal-scoring opportunities, he doesn't really do that very often in his shots. He takes a couple of shots per, from long range, but his XG per 90 is just 0.06. So in a combination, all of these things put together, yes, we can say Zinchenko is a reasonably midfielder type defender, but really, he's not really putting up those attacking numbers that we want from this super new Lundstram of the season. So he is not going to be our cheat code either. Okay, Ryan Nori, this is where things, I think, get kind of interesting. We are delving deep and trying to figure out which player it's going to be. And I know a lot of you guys will be saying, Nori, no way is it going to be him. There's no chance. But literally the people said the same thing about Lundstram. A lot of people said there's no way Lundstram's going to score any decent FPL points. They said the same thing about Dallas. Oh, he plays for Leeds, newly promoted team. There's no way he's going to get decent FPL points. So you never know where it's going to come from. I'm just putting some ideas out there. But the great thing about Nori is it looks like in training in pre-season and at certain parts of last season as well, he's actually been playing as a left winger. So actually playing ahead of the left back, sort of Bueno maybe as the left back, and Nori playing as a left winger. Now he's listed as a defender. If he's going to be playing very far up the pitch, that is going to be a good thing, and we should see an improvement on some of these numbers, which to be fair are not too bad. 0.1 XG per 90 is actually, you know, not too bad at all, really. That's pretty decent. So if we can see an improvement on these numbers, if he's consistently playing on the left wing, then that's going to be really, really nice, and he could become that player that we're looking for. Now, the problem is, I'm not totally convinced by Wolves in defence. I'm not totally convinced by Nori's game time either. I feel like maybe some other wingers could play ahead of him. So overall, it's really, really difficult to say that he will be the guy. I don't think he's nailed on enough. I think he has the potential to be that guy this season, the potential to be that cheat code, but I'm not super confident. So we're going to put Nori in the maybe pile. I can see it happening, but I guess it's kind of unlikely. All right, how about the Greek legend Baldock? So Baldock fits an additional criteria here in that he plays for Sheffield United. And obviously when we think back to the John Lundstram days, we think 4 million defender for Sheffield United who's going to be playing regularly. Well, Baldock fits that criteria really, really well, actually, doesn't he? He's going to be super cheap. He's going to be playing every single game pretty much for Sheffield United, which makes him an excellent bench pick for your FPL team. But is he that cheat code? And I don't know if he is going to be. Unfortunately, last season, just 1 goal and 3 assists at a lower level of football doesn't really indicate to me that he's going to be getting too many goals and assists in the Premier League. So that is a little bit worrying. His shots per 90 and key passes per 90, they're okay, but they're nothing, you know, ridiculous. For 4 million, Baldock is an insane value for money bench pick, but he just does not have that it factor. He doesn't have enough of that attacking nous, I guess, to be the guy we're looking for. He will be playing at right wing back, so we will be getting forward a little bit, but overall, we're expecting maybe a few goals to be conceded, and we're not expecting too many goals or assists from Baldock throughout the season. I don't expect him to get any more goals or assists than pretty much any other left or right back in the Premier League. So not our guy, I don't think, but still a fantastic pick for your FPL benches. Oh, Gusto, 4 million. This one I really actually quite like. Not a great goal scorer necessarily. Doesn't get a lot of goal scoring opportunities, but his creative numbers are pretty decent. Fairly creative player there, and he comes in at 4 million and plays for Chelsea. So there's a lot of real nice things in his favour. We can expect clean sheets. We can expect maybe a decent kind of attacking numbers here, because we've seen Pochettino's sides in the past, and we do see that the fullbacks are really important in the gameplay. So Gusto could could be really insane, a ridiculous pickup at 4 million. But the problem is he has Reece James ahead of him. So Reece James is going to be the main right back for Chelsea. Gusto is going to be the backup right back. But if Reece James gets injured, and I believe he's injured right now, he might not be injured by the beginning of the season, but you know, we know what Reece James is like. You know, sometimes he does spend time on the sidelines, and during those periods, Gusto at 4 million is going to be ridiculous good value for money. He's going to be an insane bargain, and I feel like he really could become maybe not a Lundstram, maybe not a Dallas, but kind of maybe more like a Livramento, but better. But only during those specific periods of time where Reece James is unavailable. So it's a very unique one. This could be an insane pick, but it only in like very specific circumstances. So I don't know what you guys think about that one. There is a possibility that you guys could maybe pick Reece James in your starting 11 and maybe actually have Gusto on your bench. We know Reece James is fantastic when fit, and the big problem with picking Reece James is if he gets injured, you're in trouble. But if you have Gusto on your bench ready to go anyway, he's only 4 million, so he's only going to be replacing another one of your 4 million defenders. That could actually be an insane combo to go for, and something I'm strongly considering doing myself. So Gusto, it's circumstantial, but yes, this guy could definitely potentially become, for at least a small period of the season, the guy, the new cheap defender to go for, who's going to break the game, essential, must-have, crazy value for money player. Okay, how about Udoki? He was playing in Serie A last season in the Italian league, and this guy is like a wonder kid, pretty much. He is looking so good, just 20 years old, and his numbers last season were actually really good, really good, particularly creatively. He's got some really good numbers here, but also 0.1 XG per 90, 0.89 shots per 90. We can see he's getting some dangerous areas, 3 goals and 4 assists last season. The season before that, I think his XG per 90 numbers were even better as well. So look, this is a really attacking fullback, a really attacking fullback. So that is something that we definitely want to keep an eye on. Now, where is he going to be playing? Is he going to be playing as a left back for Spurs? Is there potential he plays on the wing for Spurs? He's definitely a player who has kind of that attacking ability in him, where you can maybe see him playing as maybe a left winger or a right winger for Spurs. I can see that happening. So there is potential for him to switch positions. But even if he just plays at left back, he is a player who is attacking enough that could still get attacking contributions. Now, I do worry a little bit about Spurs defensively. I don't think there's going to be as many clean sheets from Spurs this season as we have seen in previous season. But if we're looking for that cheap, you know, 4.5 million defender who is going to break the game, get an insane amount of attacking contributions, well, 3 goals, 4 assists at 19, 20 years old throughout that season, 18 years old the season before, still getting goals and assists. This guy, it could be like the next big thing. He really could. So in that sense, hey, he could get even better. Like, he could do really well in the Premier League. Like, I can't really see who else is going to be playing at left back for Spurs right now. He's just like so talented. This guy is the guy. Like, he really could be insane. But I'm just not 100% sure he's going to be playing out of position, if you like, and therefore, will he get the goals? Will he get assists that we actually really need to take him to that next level of breaking the game, essentially? Maybe. There's potential here. I'm going to put him down as a maybe. And let's finish off with Pedro Porro. Now, this is a super interesting one. Obviously, Spurs spent a lot of money getting this guy into the club. We know he has a lot of attacking ability. 3 goals and 3 assists last season in just 13 starts. That is really nice. That's pretty much a attacking contribution nearly every other start. That's quite wild if you think about it like that. Over 2 shots per 90, almost 2 key passes per 90, and 0.12 XG per 90 as well. He is fitting the criteria in every way possible last season. Now, this season, he's not going to be playing as a right wing back anymore. He's probably going to be more as a normal right back, but there is also talk that he could be playing as a right winger. A right winger, guys. That is something that is definitely something that we need to think about. If Pedro Porro starts playing as a right winger, and if we see a little bit of that in pre-season, or maybe we see that the first couple of games of the season, we need to be jumping on Pedro Porro from game week 3, because these fixtures from then on for Spurs are absolutely nuts. They have so many really nice fixtures. So I feel like Pedro Porro is possibly, I know he's a little bit more expensive at 5 million, and that is kind of the one downside. But if we are literally looking for a player who is listed as a defender, could be playing as pretty much a forward in the right wing position, who is capable of getting goals and assists, which Pedro Porro very much is. He's proven that in the past and he'll prove that in the future. Is this the guy? Is this the guy who could break FPL, who could break the game, become essential? And if you get left behind and you don't go on him soon enough, you're really going to fall far, far behind. All of these players are risky in many, many ways, but each one of them has the potential to be the new John Lundstram, the new Stuart Dallas, the new Livramento, the new Ben White. Who's it going to be? Pedro Porro, seriously a big shout for me. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure you check out Fantasy Football Hub. I actually got a lot of the stats for this video from their website. So if you're interested in your FPL stats, I put the link at the top of the description. You can check that out. They got 50% off their subscription service at the moment as well. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and tell me who you think is going to be this season's new superstar cheat code breaking the game defender. Maybe someone fits the criteria perfectly that I haven't thought of in this video, but I'd be really interested to get some of your thoughts on who you guys think it's going to be. Will it be Porro? Will it be Udoki? Will it be someone else? Let me know in the comments there, guys. But aside from that, thank you so much for watching it once again, and I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.